Welcome back to the After Dark podcast where we discuss topics that are none of our business. It's your boy Black Mike on the mic. We got Big Stir up top. Y'all already know what it is. This is episode 22. I'm starting to think maybe we should just call out the episodes on the pod so y'all can keep along.
100%.
Yeah, let's do that. It's episode 22. Like I said, we got Big Stir here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow on all the audio platforms. Do that little blah, blah, blah. I don't like saying it, but we got to say it so y'all can just do it. And, you know, it'd be a happy marriage there. But, Big Stir, how you doing today, man? Like, what's life been up to? I know well, first of all, when y'all are hearing this, it will be Sterling Arthur Reid, and yes, full name again.
Legal name.
Full name. In case y'all want to really fuck with this nigga, on his birthday, Big 2-6, Big Stir, August 9th. You got his full name and his birthday. Do with that as you please. The man, me and Chad will be up there Friday. Oh, actually, our flight. Or not our flight. Our fucking train gets there at 8:56. So I don't know how drunk you're gonna be able to be if you trying to scoop.
No, we good. I'm about to run a bunch of errands, but yeah, man, super excited for you guys to come down, and got a couple more friends coming into town. It's gonna be a good weekend. I'm really, really excited for it. I actually can't wait for the week to be over with. I'm not gonna lie to you. Funny enough, my director, who's been my acting manager for my office at work, at an end of day recap with him, just breaking down what I did for the day, all that jazz. He's like, "Oh, your birthday's tomorrow," and I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And he's like, "Oh, when you get hired, I put everyone's birthday into my calendar so I don't miss it." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not really big into birthdays or anything. I'm not oh, I need to have dinner, I need to do this, that, and the other." I am hoping my parents send me some cash. That'd be straight. Honestly, it's not even going to go to a good cause at all. It's probably going to go to degenerate shit. So we're not going to, it's probably best they don't send me any money. But yeah, man, things are good. Still adapting to the new place. By the time y'all get here on Friday, the place will be up to where I want it to be for presentability to the public. I did just get a spot in my room. I spilled some substance on my floor, and I've been trying to get it out. I
already got a fucking stain on the floor, bro? What you been there for? A few weeks?
A month. Yeah, I've been there for a month. Dude. Well, I know I can get it out because I got majority of it out. It's just that it's a light carpet, so it's kind of tough. But other than that, man, I'm doing well. Living the dream. Definitely could be way worse, but I always could be a lot better. But like I said, I'm fucking pumped. See you boys this weekend, and see some other folks that I haven't seen in a while. It's just gonna be a good time, man. I'm super stoked, and I know it's gonna be a time to remember. So, no, it really, that's kind of it, man. I'm not even thinking about my week. My week is just on the back burner. Everything else until the weekend is it's irrelevant. But how about yourself, Big Mike? How's it hanging? I know you're a pretty simple guy. You're a man of routine. It's kind of like myself. What's been going on in your world, my man?
Yeah, well, first of all, happy birthday, because this will be dropping tomorrow, so I should formally say happy birthday. Am looking forward to it. Like I said, Chad. Also, little bro Monty will be there as well. It's gonna be a time. But this past weekend, man, pretty good. I had a last minute kind of spur of the moment purchase a ticket to go see Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. And that was a really, really good time. Really good time. It was on a Sunday at 6:00, and that is, I'm usually Sundays, if you know me, I don't do anything on a Sunday at all. I won't get off the couch or leave my bed. And if it's football season, lose me with that. It's absolutely not happening. I'm not doing anything. But spur of the moment, went to Snoop Dogg concert. Snoop Dogg is 51, which is insane. He's old motherfucker, been around forever. And dude, he killed it. Breath control was insane. Obviously, he wasn't moving around the stage as much. He's older, but like the fact that he was able to have the breath control, the fact that he was able to, really work the crowd. Everyone was lit there. It was different age groups left and right. Like you could see a bunch of young people, a lot of older people. And let me tell you something, Southern white people love Snoop. Southern white people love Snoop, especially older Southern white people, people that you would like otherwise look at and probably think that, of course, Snoop. He's probably the most famous rapper in the world. But you probably would be like, oh, yeah, I know Snoop, but not really know his raps. But, dude, they were rapping everything word for word. Shirt was coming off. I'm talking 50-year-old white men taking their shirts off, getting down into it, thinking that they Crip and shit like that. It's funny, man. It was funny, but it was a good time. I had a good time. Wiz, obviously, he did his thing. He's got his discography, his catalog. He's got a lot to pull from. So,
sure.
Too Short was there too. So On My Level Live was fucking phenomenal. That was fire. That's probably one of my favorite Wiz songs of all time too. So
yeah.
But other than that, man, had a chill weekend. Like you said, man of routine. So stepped out of my routine a little bit, but that was a good time.
Gotta have that change of pace. It's important at this age for sure.
Yes, sir. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got a few things on the dock today. We got to hit Obama's conspiracy, Cenat, the riot that he started. Oh, my God. We even going to talk some NFL. NFL season's around the corner. It is approaching us. Preseason started already. So, we're going to hit some NFL. Look forward to diving into NFL this year heavily on the podcast, and y'all being able to follow along on my Cowboys journey for the first time ever. And then we're bringing Black React, and also we got a cool idea for Black React in the future. Don't know exactly when we plan on implementing that, but when we do, it's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for y'all to be able to enjoy it in that aspect. But without further ado, we got to hit something that didn't even make the doc, because this just happened probably like a couple hours ago. It's breaking news. We're going to break it here. Tory Lanez gets 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. 10 years. Now, before we break this down, to me, when I first heard this, I was just like, whoa. It doesn't even feel real, to be honest, because Tory just doesn't even feel like somebody that should be behind bars in 10 years, not saying for what he did, like if he did what he did, and I guess they said he did what he did, then he deserves to be behind bars. But just like Tory in itself, like before the story, knowing Tory Lanez and the way he moves, I would have never guessed in a million years he'd get 10 years. But without ranting, Sterling, I want to hear your thoughts. I know I literally just told you this before we started the pod, so these are fresh thoughts on his mind. Let's hear it here first.
Yeah, man. Fuck Megan Thee Stallion, bro. I already get that's the first thought. Like, when's the last time you heard a track from her, bro? Like, she's irrelevant. She really rode this forever, bro. How long ago did this happen? Like 2.5 years ago? Like, it feels like it's been. It feels like it's been forever. Like, bro, like you got enough money, you could get her. She can get her whole foot surgically repaired. He probably would have willing to pay her whatever it took. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's wild to me that like and I know the thing is she has to press charges. This just to follow up on all these different court incidences. She put all this work in instead of trying to make decent music. When the last time we heard a banger from her? There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes.
That's probably the last one.
There's some holes in your foot. There's some holes in your foot. And you know what I'm saying? Like, Tory Lanez is a superior artist compared to you, Miss Meg Thee Stallion. And you just put away one of the better R&B hip hop artists of this generation. Not saying he's the best, not saying he's top 5, none of this, but like he's one of the better ones, and we can all agree on
one
this.
One of the more talented for sure, especially in the rap.
Yeah, I mean he can rap and he can legitimately sing. Like, and it was like, nah, screw that. I'm gonna put all this time and effort instead of making music like my career. I'm gonna take all the money I can and get in a criminal trial and spend all this money that I don't really have anymore to splurge on Tory going to jail for 10 years. Dude, I guarantee there's gonna be some weird shit in the next like 6-7 years that happens with Meg The Stallion because she's already fallen off the face of the earth. They'd be like, oh, Meg The Stallion caught or fell out of a window from the 56th floor, bro. Tory got shooters, bro. He may be a little softy from Canada, bro, but he got shooters. And they don't be fucking with this weird shit. Like, you got shot in the foot, bro. Like, can we get over it? Like, seriously. Like, you got all the money. I know it's traumatic. I know this, that, and the other. And I feel for you. I get it. Like, if it was my little sister, I'd want her to be like, oh, like, get his ass. But look, your music career ain't going nowhere because of this either, my girl. Like, nobody gonna give a fuck.
Well, the wild thing to me, like, when I really think about it, just seems like, and I mean, come at us any way you want to. You know, there's probably going to be some Megan Thee Stallion stans listening to this and, oh, they're so insensitive, blah, 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 blah. But you can't tell me, like, when I first heard the whole story, I still don't feel like I got everything I needed to get from this story. Like, to me, and I'm not saying I followed it super concisely, but like, for me, it didn't even seem like they really proved that Tory did the shooting. Like, it almost felt like he was judged in the court of public opinion, and 100%. They needed an out. Megan stood by her story, and they just kind of pinned it on my man Tory without any like real consideration on any other things. And everyone else there seemed to think that Tory didn't really do anything. Kylie didn't speak up on Megan's behalf. Her best friend didn't speak up on Megan's behalf. Iggy sent in a letter before they made their decision, speaking on Tory's behalf. And where my conspiracy brain kind of goes, if you allow me to get into my conspiracy bag, because we got a few conspiracy things on the dock today, so we're kind of in our conspiracy tin hat bag. But where my conspiracy bag or brain goes is everything kind of felt a little funny after Tory ditched the labels and went independent. If you kind of notice, when an artist ditch the labels and they go independent, the machine no longer works for you, is actually working against you, and they don't want to see you succeed. Because if more people are independently succeeding without the label's help, then what is their causation to be able to lure in these new artists and make them sign these obnoxious 360 deals if everyone's getting big without it? So that's kind of where my brain went when I heard everything, and without the lack of evidence to me, like, they didn't present anything to me that really seemed like Tory did anything. I don't know. You tell me, Sterling, did you see any pictures of Megan's foot?
I've never seen one picture of her foot shot, bro. Look, I'm gonna be 100,000% with you, bro. Why has nobody seen an image? I'm imagining it had to be in court, right? Like, it had to have been in court.
Had to be.
Bullet through her foot after surgery or before surgery or something, because the doctors have to take documentation for the sake of if this were to ever be pulled in a criminal case. Regardless, anything with guns or anything like that, they have to treat as like an active case or these types of, there's certain protocol. I'm not a doctor. I don't work in the medical space, and I'm sure somebody in the medical space could probably elaborate a little bit more than I can. But what I will say, it is a little sketchy. It's a little weird. And it's not to say, like, look, man, I'm one of those guys that doesn't believe OJ did it. So take that as you will. If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. And at the end of the day, like, if I don't see the gun pit, if I don't see the bullet through your foot in any capacity after surgery, before surgery, shit, like, what do you have to stand on? And then to prove that it was him out of all people that shot the gun at your foot. Like, and then I go back on this one thing I always said, and this is, so look, some ladies might not like this, and some dudes may not even like this. You are a product of your environment, bro. You put yourself in these environments, you best believe some shit's gonna happen that's similar to that or involved with it. There's something that could happen like that. And you know the consequences of you doing something or being in a situation like that, point blank period. Does not matter, bro. Same thing with Takeoff. Like the whole Takeoff thing, RIP. Like you know what you're getting into, and you have to be, especially when you're in the limelight or especially a celebrity, you have to be extremely cognizant of that. And I mean, I have no hopes for Meg Thee Stallion's career because she hasn't showed me any fucking good shit since
Megan
the
Thee
COVID
Stallion
era.
is literally the baby. They're the
Dude,
same artists.
they're the same artist, and honestly, she's worse.
Well,
I
she
mean,
is
not
worse
worse.
because the baby's got a much deeper catalog than Megan does. Megan's got one
There's some
flow.
hoes in this house. There's some hoes
She's
in this
got
house.
one flow, a few hits, and no one wants to hear anything else from her. Like, if you ain't shaking your ass with Cardi B beside you, then we don't want to hear from you. She ain't got shit to rap about. If you want to rap about something, rap about how you got Tory 10 years. Rap
Dude,
about how
she
the
better
fact
be
we'll
careful.
never get another Chicks tape.
Dude, man, I've been a fan of like, well, the thing about it is like I'm a little upset. Maybe I'm a little bit butthurt too. And like, if I really looked into the case, I'm sure, like, not sure, but maybe I'd be like, oh, well, damn, that does make a lot of sense. But back to your conspiracy point, like, yeah, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. It could be definitely something, behind the scenes where like, oh, this guy's going to go independent. There's no fucking way we're letting him get off. There's no way. Absolutely no. Because imagine he goes and drops a crazy, like a really solid album, makes good money off of it. People that are kind of at his caliber or a little bit below or even maybe a little bit above it, like, well, damn, when is my label contract up? Because
Well, here's the
I'll
problem.
try that out
He
too.
was doing that. He was in the light. They had the
Yep.
whole Instagram live thing that was going crazy during COVID. So Tory was in the light. He was making noise without the label helping them at all. There's a difference. See, you don't see the label going after somebody like Russ. Why not? Russ, he's obviously uber successful. He makes more money than some of your favorite rappers. But the difference is he's not in the limelight. He's not getting mentioned with the other people. So the label is not going to target Russ because they're like, yeah, we'll let him get his bag. But he's not on these commercials. He's not on screens. He's not on everyone's phone 24/7. So he's not really a threat to us. He's got his own niche market. But
He's not marketable.
Tory, on the other hand, he's everywhere. He's right there with. He might not be as big as some of the people that we think of, like a Lil Baby, Travis Scott, Drake, but it doesn't matter because his name's being mentioned just as often as they are. So he's just as relevant from a public figure standpoint as they are, and the music is good and the music is selling without the label's help. They don't want that. That's bad because just one of them is fine, but if there's 5, 6, 7 of them, people will really start opening their eyes and start saying, well, what do we need the label for if I can blow up like that? That's where my conspiracy head goes. We also know that, Tory and Megan had a little love triangle going on. Supposedly he was more interested in Kylie that night, so we have no clue. There's a little grudge going on there. Listen, if Tory shot Meg, and I guess they're saying he did, so I will go along with what they're saying, he needs to be behind bars. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a nutcase. I'm not a fucking I'm not a meninist in any way. I'm not a feminist either, but I'm neutral. What's right is right. I'm just saying it smells fishy. It smells like somebody who ain't washed their little cooch has opened their legs wide open, and that's what it smells like to me. So I don't know. I mean, I ain't got anything else to go on. Tory, my
Nah,
bruh,
man.
your shit is over. It is over, my dog. If you try to drop a Chicks tape 10 years from now, ain't no one listening to that shit. It's done, my boy. You had a good run. You were talented. I will miss the tunes, but it is sayonara to you, Tory.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I just want to pay some homage to Tory on the way out of the segment. Dude, I got introduced to Tory Lanez like Well, I got really introduced to him my freshman year of college, like really introduced to him, like who he was. And then I started to like look back, like when you get introduced to somebody, like for example, like if you get introduced to Travis Scott when he had Antidote and stuff, right? Then these people probably haven't listened to like before days before, and all these other EPs, like upper echelon apart, like that whole like catalog of shit before Rodeo. Same ideology with Tory. If you go on SoundCloud, bro, there are so many Tory Lanez tracks that are absolutely fire, bro. Absolutely fire. Has crazy flow. He will sing and rap in the same song, and it all sounds great. I want to pay some homage to you, my man. Yeah, your career is fucking over, my G. It's raw. It's over. There is no bringing that shit back. Like, it's no getting out on good behavior. You in there for more than a year, bro. You're forgotten, unfortunately. But I will not forget how Meg Thee Stallion in the industry fucked you over. I'm not saying, like you said, I agree with you. I agree. If he did, without a shadow of a doubt, prove or shoot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot, yeah, definitely needs to be behind bars. Like, I mean, like you can't, actions have consequences, good and bad. So you can't just go unpunished. But let's be real here. We know the world we live in, and we know things going. There's some people out there that got a lot more control than we do, and I don't be fucking with them. And I'm glad that they don't be fucking with me, because god dang it, I would be fucked if they really like. They be like, oh, we don't like this dude. I'd be canceled through the like. I'd be so deep. My whole career, my personal career would be over. I
You
wouldn't
might need
even
to
have a
knock on
real
some wood, my boy.
Man, I don't believe in the jinx, man. Look, if I ever get to a point where I'm like where a Tory Lanez or a Meg Thee Stallion or those folks thing, that'd be cool to say, and have their money and all that jazz. Look, man, I'm a very cognizant guy. I'm extremely responsible when it comes to what I do. I'm not going to shoot nobody in the foot. I'm gonna tell you that for sure. And thirdly, you ain't about to catch me slipping. You are not going to catch me slipping in public. I promise. So, with that being said, shout out my boy Tory. Screw you, Meg Thee Stallion. You fine as hell. Like, don't get it twisted. You fine as all hell. But like, your music, you're irrelevant. This is the one thing that's kept you alive for the past 3 years, and I want to let that be known as well. But moving to a different topic on another woman that's even honestly even more controversial as a woman just in general and what she was doing for a period of time. It's our girl, the public's girl, Mia Khalifa. So, for a lot of the ladies that are listening, you probably don't know who the hell Mia Khalifa is. And if you don't, or if you probably don't know her pre this conversation here, who she is. To give you a little backstory, Mia Khalifa was one of the most viral adult film stars to ever come about the internet. Ever. The fact is, she's of like a Middle Eastern descent. She's got very large assets on her chest, and that became something kind of like very like, what's the word I'm looking for? A commodity for some people. I guess that like it honestly God could become a commodity. But that being said, Mia Khalifa was also the controversy this came about is that
I
Mia
could
Khalifa,
play the video.
play the video. Just play the video.
Let's play this. Let's let y'all hear this so y'all can react with us, okay?
21. Second marriage. Married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29. Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage. Married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? It's period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
So that's the video. That is what went viral over Twitter. Essentially, Mia Khalifa, essentially she can't hold down a man for more than fucking 2 years, it seems like. She's hopping into marriages, and her point is basically that she's telling all these young women that, you know, society says that you're supposed to get in marriage and there's a bond and you're supposed to stick with them. And she's saying, hey, if you get the sense that shit's not okay, you need to bounce, because she's bounced 3 times within, it seems like, the past 6 years in marriages, and that is her advice to the people.
That's her MO, dude.
Are you rocking with it? What are we doing here?
I mean, I'm not gonna 1,000. I'm not gonna be 100% disagree with her, right? Like, so I agree on the point that marriage is a basis of paperwork. It is a financial agreement more than anything. It's not necessarily like a measure of the bond that you have with someone. And we've had this conversation, you and I, Michael. I know that we have, where it is a financial agreement between two people. I do want to get married myself one day. I'm sure you do if you find the right girl to do that with. In hopes to be the only marriage and a successful kids, all that, white picket fences, golden retriever, all that shit, or whatever dog you prefer. Whatever. I don't disagree with her on that. I do believe that is correct. But the way that she goes, first off, you're publicizing this on social media. You know this is good. She knows it's gonna go viral. She knows. I mean, she's not stupid. She is a smart woman. Like, I give her that. Like, she knows what the hell she's doing. But that being said, to that point, I'm not taking advice on relationships from an adult film star. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. Like, and there's nothing against your industry at all. Like, I mean, without going into too much detail, I have nothing against you, but I don't really take relationship advice, marriage advice, or anything like that from anybody, really, just to be honest. The only people I probably take advice from would be my parents, or people that have been in a long-standing marriage for 20 plus years and it seems to be successful from the outside looking in. That's honest to God the only people I'm taking advice from. If you can't hold a marriage for more than 2 years at a time, bro, like, the problem I'm seeing is that between the last 2 marriages, it took her a year to find another man, get engaged. Like, what? First off, bro, like, nobody moves that fast, bro. Like, I get when you get older, things do move a little bit faster. That's cool. That's 100% okay. Like, I'm not going to judge anybody, but what I will say is that you telling me, first off, she engaged a guy, never got married to him necessarily, but got engaged and then kept the... Nah, man, I can't be rocking with that shit. I can't rock with it at all. I'm going to tell you, because, like, if I'm going to put money down for a ring and it's like that ring for that girl, like, you going to give me that shit back. Like, I'm getting
You're going to give me that back, and the next girl's going to get it. And that's just that. And that's just that. I'm sorry. Just that. It just happened that way. That. But okay, so let me so do I disagree or do I agree with Mia Khalifa? Essentially, I think what she was trying to say from a macro perspective, I can't say I disagree with, because I do believe that marriage is as far as the government's concerned, is a financial agreement. It's like 2 businesses coming together, like a business is acquiring the other, and they're coming together into one full business, and they're merging. And you're picking up that business's debt, or if the other business is very profitable, that profit is now running to your subsidiary, and vice versa. So I do think from a government's perspective, it is one. And then I also agree from a macro perspective that she's right, that if things are really bad and, you can't suffer it, then you should absolutely feel okay to split and, move on with your life if things are just that terrible. But Where she's got it fucked up at and where she's completely missed the mark is it sounds like to me that she just wants it to be sunshine and rainbows 24/7. And the minute there's a little thunderstorm, you know, she's not just going inside the house, cutting on a Netflix movie and putting on a blanket and waiting the thunderstorm out to go back inside. She's instead up and moving to Miami where it never rains. and that's the problem. She's essentially saying that anytime shit goes left, she's bouncing out of a marriage and or engagement. And I can't say I agree with that. I'm like, most people, and I think that's why most people today are actually getting divorced more often, is because they feel like as soon as something goes left, they got to dip out. And that's not marriage. Like, that's not marriage at all. Marriage is a lot of ups and downs, a lot of fights, a lot of rocky roads. There might be 2-3 years in a row where shit just ain't hitting and it ain't been hitting for a minute. And then the next 5 years are beautiful. And that's what it's all about. Like, we got to those 2-3 years. Next 5 years is great. Like, I feel like people are missing the essence of marriage. Like, the essence of marriage is there's a bond and, you know, we stick together through thick and thin. And that's what she's kind of missing. Like, I agree. If shit's getting bad and it's really bad and there's no looking up, there's nothing wrong with moving on. But she's moving on a year and a half, 2 years in before like the marriage. That to me just screams that you can't deal with any type of confrontation. Why would I want to ever put a ring on your finger?
Yeah. I mean, just think of your own parents. Like, I know both your mom and dad, great people. And I'll give a shout out to the Hales family, great people. And then also Chad's parents, great people. My parents, good people. Like, I have sat there and seen, the struggles of a marriage, bro. Like, I've seen it. But I've also seen, my parents are in their 60s now. Like, bro, the whole point of marriage is it's the continuation of your relationship into a more pressurized, quote unquote, notion or name behind it. That's all it is. And we spoke about, and you spoke about, like I said earlier, it's that financial agreement. But it's also when you say your vows, that's why when people renew their vows, they really mean that shit, bro, because they're really trying to make sure this shit worked. Because I guarantee every single relationship, if you've been in any relationship, it could be a 6-month relationship, it could be a fucking 5-year, 10-year, 15, who cares how long there's been a time where both parties have wanted to leave the chat, to put it in a very simple way. There's been times, it is what it is. It's not because they don't love them, they don't care about them, there's nothing, it's just what it is. But then a lot of these people realize it's worthwhile. Like you said, you can have 2, 3, 4 years of a bad stretch where it's not completely insufferable. It's a pretty shitty time, but then you get over that horizon where basically all the parents I just mentioned right there, 4 sets of parents are at that point now in their marriage where it's dude, this is you can do shit. I'm not even gonna give a fuck at this point. You can fuck off. And it's fun at that point because they're not really bothered by the little things that person does. There's still things that are gonna bother one another. There's still little ups and downs that are gonna go there. But they know how each other work at a very high level. I guarantee you, every single one of those parents I just listed, my parents, your parents, Duncan's parents, Chad's parents, and without mentioning a bunch of other people that I don't know, friends wise and their parents, I guarantee you, they probably could tell you every single tendency that their significant other has and why and how they work through it or what they do to deal with it when it happens. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. There's no reason, even people in relationships for an extended period of time that aren't married can do that. Let alone if you're married. If my parents just had their 27th anniversary. Shout out moms and dads.
Congrats.
Love y'all. Yeah, this is not too long ago. 27 years is a long ass time, and they dated for 6 years prior to that, bro. They've been together for 33 years. That is an insane amount of time. But the thing is, it's not always gonna be sunshine and rainbows. This is for the folks that are out there listening for real, bro. if you think this shit's gonna be sunshine and rainbow, and especially ladies, because I know nowadays you guys are feeling extra empowered, which you should. You should. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But know your line just as much as your man should know his line, or whoever your partner is. You know, he, them, they, whatever you choose. They got their line too. Don't think that you're better than what you are. Know your worth, but don't overstep. Don't overstep. Don't think you're worth more than what you are, because you know your worth. The worst lie in the world is to lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, bro. You can lie to everybody else. I don't give a fuck if you lie to every single fucking person in your life. Don't lie to your damn self.
Well, let me ask you something. So we're talking from a marriage perspective, and I imagine most people listening to this podcast are not married. So let's talk. Let's try and relate it to them. Do you think that same type of grace, that same type of let's work through this and see the other side, translates to a relationship that does not have a ring on the finger? Do you think that it is okay to bounce as quickly, or do you think that in a regular relationship with maybe they might be thinking about marriage but it hasn't come up yet, should they also be given the same amount of grace and time to work it through?
Well, without going into too much detail on my personal life, my personal opinion about this is so different. It can be different from everybody else's, and I think everyone else should have their own opinion, which is fine. But I think specifically, people are like, oh, like, if you're with, like, being in a relationship for like 4 years, like, time isn't like a real measure. No, time is a measure, bro. Like, time is a true measurement, because the only thing you can't get back is the only 1000% known non-renewable source of energy and or amount or quantity. It is the only thing we know for a fact right now. It could definitely change, who knows. But right now, I think that if you're the one, and there's nothing wrong with this, like hear me out here when I'm saying this. If you're one of those types of people that like gets in like 6-month relationships and hops out, goes to the next one, waits a couple months, gets in another relationship for another 6, 7, 8 months, then gets in I think it's okay to like learn, but you should just date. Not like date, like as in like date boyfriend, girlfriend, but like date and figure out what you want. And then when you are willing to take that leap of faith and be like, okay, look, I'm really going to give this a shot and fall forward and fail forward. If that's the case, do it. And don't be sad or upset if it doesn't work out. If you did give it everything you had, like, don't be the one to say, oh shit, we can't figure this out. Then, fuck it. Like, there's no point. Like, you're not built for marriage, let alone a relationship. You need to do some self-reflection, respectfully. Like, it's not even like a disrespectful thing. It's just the fact that I know there's people out there that don't understand what a relationship should be like, and I take a lot of my own relationship things, like things that I would want from a partner, from my own parents' relationship. And I think everyone does. And if you didn't have the stability, like a lot of, like, some people don't have within, like, having parents with a happy marriage, quote unquote happy marriage and stuff, you don't have much to take from. But be a person of yourself. Be like what you want within your relationship. Be like, okay, like, we've worked through a lot. We continue to work through a lot. Let's give it some time. Let me work through it. I'm willing to suffer a little bit for a better outcome. Like, because the best things in this world come at a price. And typically it's a price of pain and suffering. It is what it is. If you want to get big and work, like when you work out, bro, working out is fun. Like, it definitely can be fun. But nigga, if you want to get yoked, like, that shit is a lot of pain and suffering, bro. Like, you are working your ass off to get to where you want to be physique wise. It's the same way with the relationship, man, and that's how I feel about it. I am curious to see how you feel about it, because when it comes to relationships, I think they're important. I think if you have multiple, like, I think a lot of people should have multiple relationships, but some people are very fortunate to only have that one really long-standing relationship, and they run off that for the rest of their lives, and I think that's amazing too. So I'm curious to really see your point of view.
Yeah, so I kind of agree that, like, the dating stage, and some people get misconstrued where they think dating is the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Dating's actually, you're going out on dates, you're hanging out. That is dating. That is the dating stage. But I also, like, I think Mia Khalifa's standpoint is more suitable for relationships that don't have an engagement or aren't in marriages yet. I think her standpoint there is more suitable for a regular relationship. Like,
Yeah.
one thing's, you can only pick up so much in the dating stage where you're going out and getting dinner and whatnot. The moment that you say, let's start dating, everything changes. Your mindset changes, obligations change, the way you're able to move change. So you can't really know, what you're getting yourself into until you take that step. I'm someone who thinks that if you're going to start dating, that the goal of, becoming boyfriend and girlfriend should be like, let's make this last. Like, I don't understand people who become boyfriend, girlfriend just for the fuck of it. Oh, we've been hanging out. Like, let's do it. Like, if you couldn't see that lasting, why would you commit to it? But, and for me, but like, once you are committed in that relationship, if there's no engagement, if you're not married and, you don't see it transpiring, I see no problems with ditching it soon. Like, but don't just be ditching it just to be ditching it. And when you ditch it, don't just hop into another relationship because you can't be single. I can't stand when people hop in relationships just because they can't be single. Like, it's okay to be single, my guy, or whoever is listening to this. You will be okay. Just chill out. But if you're going to get in a relationship, yeah, you can. Don't be scared to leave that relationship if it's not suiting your needs for the long term, especially people who are closer to me and Sterling's age. We're getting to that age now where if it's not suiting any long-term needs, you need to bounce as soon as possible. Because like Sterling said, time is of the essence and you're not going to get it back at this. You're not going to get it back. And it's only limiting at this standpoint in life. So, if you're going to hop in a relationship and you don't see that that person has suitable needs for a marriage, then I think you should leave the moment you realize that. And every time that you do that, you'll find that you'll find that you'll get in relationships with people who are probably more suitable for your marriage because you know exactly what you're looking for. You won't even entertain the people that don't like suit majority of the needs that you have. Now, people, when I say this, I want you to know that I do not mean that every time you go and date somebody, you should be looking for someone to check off all your boxes.
Yep.
They will never check off all your boxes. And I'm also here to tell you, you don't even know all your boxes. You got boxes that you think this is what I need. And the right person is going to come by and it's going to be a whole different set of boxes. And you didn't know, damn, those were the boxes I needed checked off this whole time. That's just how it goes. So don't try. I hate like a lot of people today in today's day and age. And I think it's a lot of females in particular are trying to find the perfect person, the person that checks off all the boxes. We already know you want 1% men. So ladies, if they say they listen to the After Dark podcast, just know they're 1%ers because we tell them every week, or at least they're striving to be 1%ers because we tell them every week. But they're not going to check off every single box. Stop trying to get the perfect person. If you're not the perfect person that checks off every single box, do some self-reflection. You're probably not going to land someone who checks off every single box. It's as simple as that. Date somebody who has the quality needs that could suit you as a long-term partner. Be open to different boxes being checked that you didn't know would be suitable for you. And I feel like everyone would be better off that way. And, if you're in a relationship and there hasn't been marriage talking about it, you are not engaged and it's not suiting you, feel free to dip. That's kind of where I stand on it. So I feel like we're kind of pretty similar in what we're saying there for the most part.
I wanted to make one last point before we move on here because I definitely think this is we don't talk about dating on the show a lot, like because we try to keep it lighthearted and fun, and we do get serious when we need to get serious. I think we do a good job in balancing that out. I don't think that's ever been an issue for us at all. What I will say is I do believe that the problem we run into nowadays is like, for example, like you and I are. Well, I'm 26 in 3 hours, but like the thing is, at our age now, either you're in a long-standing relationship, you either are married, about to get married, sorry, you're in a long-standing relationship, probably, right? Long-standing relationship. You are engaged or you're already married. And the people that are, and then there's the single people, right? And the people that are single are going to find it harder because with today's culture, with the hookup culture and what it is, they're saying, oh, I'm looking for a lot of people, and I don't mean to like be like coming at the ladies like this, but like a lot of ladies like, oh, I'm looking for the right man. No. You want to hook up just as much as everybody else does. Like everybody loves like it's the sin of it's the flesh. Like we are like we can't help it. It's the flesh. We love it. Like we're addicted to it. We can't help it. It is what it is. We're human beings. What I will say is that if you really want to find what you want, I think there's one thing that you do, and I think it's really important for everybody to do this. There should just be a couple non-negotiables, not like a crazy amount of non-negotiables, like not some crazy non-negotiable, like he can't be like he can't have size 12 shoes or bigger, or like that's just fucking like obscene. But like it's like, okay, look, I really want to have kids one day, like I really do. I want to make sure I'm with somebody that values like having a child, and if they're not open to it, then I want to, or if they're not like ready for it, then that's fine, right? But I want to know that they'd at least be open to the idea of that. And then it's like, oh, like I want to be able to travel X, Y, and Z places. If you can't find someone that doesn't want to do that and isn't open to it, that ain't the one for you. No matter how hot or attractive they can be, bro. It's just what it is. And that's where I think a lot of nowadays that hookup culture has gone into like relationships where it's like, oh, I find you attractive, you find me attractive, let's date. And then they can't find a happy medium because they disagree on so many different levels. The point of a relationship is growing together, and when you can grow together, that really brings a lot of strength. Those are the hardest couples. Those are the most loyal couples, and those are the hardest couples to break apart. Those couples that you probably look at, I'm sure you got friends like this just as much as I do, but it's like, damn, like I can't wait for that wedding. Like that's gonna be that's gonna be really exciting to see. Like people say that about you without you knowing that if you're in one of those types of relationships, and you may not even know it unless they tell you to your face. So for the ladies, be cognizant. For the guys, don't be too fucking picky because, like, let's be honest, bro. Like, if you're not a 1%er, you are not getting that 10 out of 10, bro. I mean, you can shoot your shot, but like the 10 out of 10 ain't gonna fuck with you, bro. I'm sorry. Like, she ain't gonna do it. Like, if she ain't fucking with a 1% podcaster, she definitely ain't fucking with you, dog. Like, it's just what it is. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. But that being said, want to move into a little light. I don't know if it's necessarily like more lighthearted, but it's not. I don't know. But that being said, I don't know if the folks had heard our former United States President, the Barack Hussein Obama's chef, mysteriously drowned in a shallow pond paddleboarding. He was paddleboarding in a shallow pond and he drowned. I don't want to laugh because that's fucked up. Is this a nothing burger freak accident? Or is this just like a freak accident for you folks out there? Or is this more of the story? Is there more to the story when it comes to this, being that Obama's chef somehow randomly is paddleboarding in a shallow pond? They're a grown-ass adult, bro. A grown-ass adult. It ain't like they can't stand up. And they're dead. I'm curious. One, I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments on YouTube and all the other social platforms. One, I want to hear you guys' response to this. I feel like it'd be fun. I feel like it's cute. Well, not cute, but Jesus. I feel like it'd be interesting to hear you guys' thoughts and how you elaborate on it. Or is there more like a conspiracy behind this? Because we have been only conspiracy kick for this episode for sure. 22. I'm feeling super 22 today, baby. Call me Taylor Swift. 22. But I want to hear what your thoughts are on it, Mike, because I know this is something that you put into the docket. And I want to kind of base not base what I say off of it, but like understand it a little bit better before I kind of delve deeper into it. Because I have my thoughts, but I'm just curious.
Well, you know me. When faced with the conspiracy, I'm all ears and I'm open-minded. And this one, my friend, this one has conspiracy written all over it to me. And it pains me because, power to my brother, Barack Obama. But sometimes we niggas, we be on some bullshit too. We'll be on some bullshit. And it was black on black crime. So I got to call it out. To me, the biggest thing for me, first of all, is we heard the story one day and it was gone the next. And no one's ever talked about that again. Now, I imagine that if it was going to be such a big story when we first heard it, that if it was just a simple death, that they would talk about it more, and maybe they would do more for it, and maybe they would honor him in some way. Maybe we might see a collage of some of his best dishes or something. I don't know. I feel like the Baracks would do something nice to honor
the Obamas.
The Obamas. My bad. I feel like they would have done something, kind of nice. It just seems kind of like their steez, what they would do. But we heard he died in a shallow pond, and then it was gone. So when I was doing some looking at it on Twitter, funny enough, I found this nigga swimming like Michael Phelps in a 9-foot fucking pool, looking like if he fell off a paddleboard in a shallow pond, he could swim, or maybe even, I don't know, stand the fuck up. Or he might have the wherewithal to grab onto the paddleboard. But that's just me. Second thing I noticed, it happened right on their property when they were conveniently not at home. And there was an eyewitness. So if there was an eyewitness, why can't we get a more elaborate story on how this guy who was swimming like Michael Phelps in a 9-foot pool fell off his paddleboard and couldn't swim back up to the top, grab his paddleboard, or stand up? So all I'm saying is I feel like he's been with the Obamas through it all. They said he was there in the White House. They offered him a full-time chef position because they loved him so much. And so he's seen it all. My guess and what I've been seeing around there is that maybe not only did he know too much, but he was willing to share a little. I've heard that, or I've seen that, it was a passion project of his to write a book. I'd imagine that book would be very telling. Very telling. I'd imagine he's probably not writing about all the fun times that he had on his weekends off from the Obamas. I'd imagine that majority of that book would probably be about the Obamas. And there's probably some stuff in there that Barack said, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, he made that good ass fried chicken, but we gonna have to off this nigga because we could get Popeyes for free for life, so we don't need this nigga like this. They probably read that rough draft and was like, oh, so that's what you on, my nigga? Oh, okay.
He probably wasn't even thinking, bro. He probably wasn't even thinking. Like, dog was probably like, oh, like, I'm gonna show Barack, like, because he loves to read, because they do. Like, I will say, and one of the things about following the Obama, like, actually, I don't follow either one of the Obamas, but I do see them on like my Discover page and like Instagram and other stuff. They're very, very like knowledgeable about pop culture, about everything that's going on. Very updated with like the latest books and just good book recommendations. Like they're very knowledgeable people. Like from what I could tell, both him and Michelle, both very knowledgeable people. And they're very smart. That is for damn sure. They're very smart individuals. But he's probably like, oh, let me show Barack and Michelle, like, oh, what I put together. They're probably like, because I'm sure he probably told them like, yeah, I'm writing a book and like I'm really excited. Like probably asked him what it's about. Oh, it's just about my life and just how it's been and all this stuff. Oh, cool, awesome. And they're already probably thinking, shit's probably turning their head like, oh, nah, this nigga, he better not put my fucking name in that bitch. Keep my name out that motherfucking book.
It better be a motherfucking food recipe book.
It better be a recipe book, not because it should be. Look, as you chomp it down on his fucking like perfect asparagus and salmon, it's going crazy. But yes, it definitely has some weird strings attached to it. Where I'm concerned to the fact because there's always been like people like, oh, like Obama's a link to like those higher power folks and like those people that we don't know. Those people, because there's no way a black president could have been in all this, that, and the other. Bruh, whatever is in that book, whatever's in that tell-all, as they described it, tell-all book, something could have been, and I guarantee it wasn't like something directly, right? It wasn't a direct thing where like, oh my gosh, Michelle's actually a man, or like these types of things, but things that can be insinuated about the Obamas based on what they were said that was said in the book and people's minds. That's the thing about books. It's just like the Bible, anything. It's built for interpretation. That's what entertains you. That's what makes you curious. That's what makes you learn.
It probably went against public perception, is my guess.
Yes. And we know the Obamas as being one of the most beloved people. I mean, granted, for the people that just hate black people, yes, obviously not beloved by them. But like some of the most beloved in like one of the most beloved families in the world, not just in the country, in the world. They are a worldwide phenomenon, especially when he was in the White House. That was just an insane time for those folks that were very like into it. But yes, if it when it gets public perception, you talking about you trying to put Barack and Michelle and even maybe his kids like in a bad light, you think Barack's gonna let that happen, bro?
Hell no.
You think like he was at one point literally the most powerful man, quote unquote, in the world, as they say for every president. Crazy to think we've had Donald Trump and Joe Biden in that same position. Fucking A, man. But yes, you really think he's gonna let that happen? I mean, dude, if you're someone that doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, this is the one thing you should believe in because it doesn't make logical sense. Based off of what Michael said, where the man is swimming just fine, swimming like a beast. He could have been in the Olympic gold medal race with Michael Phelps. And like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And for some of y'all out there who think that I might be calling Barack Obama out, you got me twisted, son. I think this shit G as fuck. I think this shit G as fuck. This is more respect for Barack on some real shit. On some real shit, this is what happened when a nigga become president, dog. Like, oh, word? You gonna write a book, my nigga? Oh, word? You gonna tell him it's 4 inches, my nigga? Word, you just gonna put it out there like that, my nigga? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no, because you really got it fucked up. I can see Barack being like on the phone, nah, you got it fucked up, nigga, because I really throw that shit up, my nigga. I really throw that shit up. You don't really know. I was really like that back in the day.
I ain't talking about basketball, bro. I'm talking about that range. You saw me out there? Like, I'm about it, bro.
I'm about that shit. That's one call. You call 911 and they come save your ass. I call 911 and they come kill your ass, my nigga. There's difference. There's levels to this shit.
No, and I think it's a very crazy thing because it's just like the JFK. There's so many things that we don't know as the public, and we kind of
we'll never know.
Yeah, and we'll never know. We kind of got in this bag about the aliens thing the other day, or like the non-biological whatever, however they're describing it, whatever. That United States has known about for years, and it's all based around money. But when you're talking about, like I said, you can't but tell all books if you're fucking with somebody in the government, bro. Like, I'm just gonna let that be known. Like, dude, tell all books. Like Donald Trump had about 150 tell all books. People just writing like, yeah, blah blah blah, bro. Those shits, they were a hit for like a week, and then they were gone. They were gone, bro. Like, it's like, It's like that shit. Like this is a top selling book, New York Times bestseller. Like nigga, every book is a New York Times bestseller, bro. It seems like every book, like I could write a book and be like New York Times bestseller, Sterling's dick. Like, I mean, bro, like yeah, you could write about anything. And then like if the public or whoever the higher powers are, or they've been told like, oh, we don't like that, it will not even exist, my man. Why do you think the book what is it? How to gain power, or how to become more confident, and influence people? I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head.
How to win people, how to win people, and how to win and influence people, or something like that.
Yeah, how to win and influence people. Why do you think that book is so popular? Because higher powers want you to understand this, because these niggas know if you get to a higher power, they be like, oh yeah, then he just gonna listen to what the fuck we say. They gonna listen to what the fuck we say, because we already know how to do this shit. Like we on this shit. I'm telling you, and also, by the way, if you guys haven't, I actually just recently started reading that book, How to Win and Influence People. Fucking crazy manipulation in that bitch.
It's a good book. I got it as well. I think I've read halfway through it, but I never finished it. I should go back and, well, I should probably start it from the beginning again, but it is a really good book.
Bro, if y'all, for the guys out there, and even for the ladies out there, no matter what your preferences, you know, bi, straight, non, whatever, blah, 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 all the other fucking denominations of what. Nah, if you want to know how to gaslight, bro, read that book. I'm not fucking I'm not joking.
Gaslighting like, at its finest.
I'm not joking. And I didn't mean to get off topic here, but I was saying this the other day. Genuinely, I do some of the stuff that's in that book before reading it. And it's when I'm trying to manipulate people, like in my own work, like what I do to get someone to like believe or want to do something, or but like think this is the right thing. Like it's fucked up. It's fucked up, but dude, that's the way the world works. But back to the point. The world is ran by obviously very powerful people, and Barack Obama is one of them. I just think it's wild. Like you said, that whole thing about somebody like being able to swim just fine in a 9-foot pool and be sprinting, like going. And now he drowned in like a 4 or 5 foot pond. Nah, nigga, you got me absolutely fucking wasted, because ain't no fucking way. Like I am not a sports swimmer. Like bro, I would not drown in a fucking 5 foot pond.
Nah, bro, no way.
Like nobody. I
would have paddleboard.
Nobody can. No, exactly. There was 3 options: swim, stand up, grab the paddleboard. And apparently, I'm assuming they could do all 3 of those things. If he was a chef, I know damn well he could fucking use his hands.
And you know what else too? Now that I'm thinking about it, if this was at their house, you mean to tell me there's places on this property that's under no surveillance at all?
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second. I bet every blade of grass on that property has some surveillance on that motherfucker. They know when an ant rolled up in that bitch. So you mean to tell me this nigga drowned in a pond, in a shallow ass pond, and nobody saw that shit and could help my bro? Nah, I'm not jocking it. I'm just not jocking it.
Nah, man. Look, I love me some Obama. I love Barack. I actually wanted to be the first black president when I was a kid. Like that was a goal of mine, and then
I wanted to be the first black Spider-Man. We both got screwed. What? I'm just saying we both got screwed, bro.
Well, my shit's a little bit more realistic than fucking Spider-Man for you guys out there that are thinking.
Well, I meant acting, dumbass.
Oh, my bad.
Fuck you.
I was like, this nigga really wanted to be a real life Spider-Man.
No, I didn't want to be a real life Spider-Man. I always said I was gonna be an acting Spider-Man.
Bro, have you heard about people that have like let spiders bite them to fucking like try to become Spider-Man and shit? It's actually wild, bro.
Your ass should. I hope they died.
Like, no, these people were dying, bro. They were dying.
Good, they deserve to die. That's survival. They be having the best.
They be having like black widows, like these poisonous ass fucking spiders biting them, like I'm gonna be Spider-Man. Like nah,
they weren't meant to make it in this world, bro. I'm glad they're in a better life. Hopefully, not trying to be fucking Spider-Man.
Nah, man, but that is wild. I definitely, for the folks that aren't two things to take away from that segment. One, there's some powerful, scary people out there. Two, read How to Win and Influence People. Actually, don't read it because I'd love to be able to fucking manipulate you too, to be frank. But that's just what we're going off of there. In other news, my man Kai Cenat, one of the most popular pop culture names in the business right now. Guy has over 100 million 100,000 Twitch subscribers. To do the math for you guys, a Twitch subscription at a bare minimum is $5. They get about $3.50 per subscription. He is making nearly $350,000 a month just before taxes, just off of the subscriptions that he gets. That does not include donations, any other ads he runs, anything like that.
Any other platforms he's on.
Any other platform, he's making buku money, and this man ain't but about 5'4". But he's the funniest nigga, one of the funniest niggas.
But he's a 1%er.
Yeah, he's a true 1%er, bro. And it sucks because damn, really it'd just be anybody nowadays. But Kai Cenat held actually a meet and greet. Him and Phantom did, which is also a part of the AMP AMP group. It's got Duke Dennis, all them boys. Look it up if you're not. Shout out those guys. You can look them up on YouTube, but watch our video first. Meet and greet giveaway in New York City, bro. First off, before I even get to the topic, it's wild that this even happened. Before I even say what happened, these niggas really did a meet and greet giveaway. It was for like PS5s, all types of shit, bro. And due to this and the popularity of Kai and Phantom, not gonna downplay Phantom at all because he's pretty fucking popular too. They caused a massive, uncontrollable riot in the process. They were arrested later, and I just want us to like talk about this and just figure out like what the hell. Because I saw this like this week, I was like, what the fuck? Because I saw it was like Kai Cenat was arrested. I was like, what? Like he does not seem like the type of dude to get into like criminal shit. Like I'm sure. Like most people like that are from like New York. I mean, no offense to folks from New York. If you were born and raised in New York and you weren't in the nice parts, you probably stole or did something like that before, just to be frank. It's just an easier place to do it. But I want to see your thoughts like on this because this is wild. First off, actually, I'm going to give my thoughts. Fuck that.
Yeah, go for it.
It's one, like I said, it's already crazy that Kai Cenat and Phantom and AMP in general, AMP, whatever you want to call them, have this type of pull, bro. It is insanity. Yes, they were giving away like PS5s and shit. So like I get it, bro. Like PS5s are like $600, G. Like I'd love me a free PS5 too. But nah, bro. And then for them to get arrested because they did a giveaway and it's like they're basically what I equate it to is like the Donald Trump January 6th insurrection, right? Like everybody knows about this. Like if you don't know about it, dude, like get from under a fucking rock. Like I mean seriously, like let's get real. It's honestly one of the most like infamous days in United States history at this point. Like, and it's been played up to be that way, but it definitely is an infamous day because there was a death involved in it with people that were trying to do their jobs. But the way that they're trying to play it out from my perspective, just looking outside, looking in, is they're trying to make it seem like, okay, like, because the whole point about the insurrection is that Donald Trump acted like he didn't incite these people to do everything they did on January the 6th. Whereas this is a normal thing, not necessarily normal, but this is a thing that a lot of Twitch streamers or just very high, like big creators do on platforms. They'll do giveaways in public places and they'll let people know, and it'll be like a big thing. It'll be cool, like, oh, you get to meet them, you get to do a meet and greet, get something signed. Like it's a cool thing. Like you get to meet some of these people look up to them, which is I think is super awesome. But from my understanding, they're like, okay, they organized this riot. They organized it. This was not a giveaway. This was actually a riot that they incited upon their viewers and fans. Whereas I just see it as two black guys that have good money and are extremely popular, and people wanting free shit. It's just a combination of two things. And just so happens the two black guys get arrested because they were doing something out of not necessarily the kindness of their heart, because they're writing this shit off when they give the shit away. Like, I'm not saying, like, they ain't stupid. They got accountants, bro. They're like, oh, you can write this shit off. Just go do it. Like, you think they just gonna give away thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit and they ain't gonna write that shit off? Like, nah.
I think what happened. Were you done?
Yeah, I was done. I was kind of going on a little bit of a rant there.
I think what happened is, one, Cenat, he figured out exactly how big he was. And I don't think maybe he knew what kind of pool he had. Like, obviously, he knows that he's big, but I was watching an interview with him and Lil Yachty on Lil Yachty's new podcast, and he doesn't even consider himself famous. So that kind of is a deep dive into his mindset of where he kind of views himself on the hierarchy of celebrities. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, we got to start putting some more respect on YouTubers, Twitch streamers, all these type of people. We don't hold them in the same celebrity light as like musicians and actors and actresses, when in all reality, these YouTube stars and these Twitch stars are probably in a lot of cases bigger than a bunch of these artists. People tune in and watch these guys, especially Twitch streamers, daily, all day long. Cenat,
they have conversation. They have conversations with these people via chat on a
they're like part of your group, your friend group. Cenat literally live streamed the whole month of February. There were people tuning in to watch this nigga sleep. He is bigger than life at this point. He's the biggest Twitch streamer in the world. He's bigger than life. And so when he says he's going to New York, and not just for a meet and greet, but to give away PS5s where it looked like nothing but a bunch of broke ass niggas was pulled up trying to get a free PS5. Let's keep it a buck. That's what it was. Nothing but a bunch of broke ass niggas try to get that free PS5, and also maybe a picture with Cenat or get sturdy with Cenat while they're at it. And then it just seemed like this whole riot. Like I couldn't find like what really set it off. Like what happened. Like, I guess, like, from what I understood too, is before he was even able to really kind of like get in the middle of that shit, it was already going fucking crazy. And you know, New York is not the place. New York will lock you up. They'll find a reason to lock you up if some shit pop off. And they needed a scapegoat. Too much shit happened. There was fucking people smashing cars, starting to loot places again. I saw two cops smash this poor fucking kid, dude. This nigga was innocent. There was a bunch of people fucking beating this like a taxi van, and this nigga was just standing there, and they all scattered around, and he looked lost, and he turned around, and these cops took his face and smashed it into the fucking back of the windshield, and that shit shattered. I was like, oh fuck. He was like, I didn't even do anything. He's like, that dude is traumatized, bro. So they had to pin it on somebody because there was too much damage. There was too much shit going on. And you know the way the law works, like, regardless if it's right or not, if some shit pops off, we got to pin it on someone. Just like we were talking about Tory Lanez earlier, some shit popped off because Megan don't know how to hold it down. And, you know, she might have a little hole in her foot. Goddamn, whatever. She can still walk. She clearly still twerk and shit because she did that like a week afterwards. But we got to pin it on somebody. Somebody's got to take the fall. And clearly it had to be Kai in this situation. But regrettably so, because I don't feel like he did anything wrong. There's videos of Kai helping people out. There's the one girl, she couldn't breathe. He was sitting down with her, trying to talk her through it, help her out. He put her on her back and got her out of the crowd and whatnot. It was a nice gesture that got out of hand. But Kai, my boy, I'm gonna need you to listen to me, my dog. You the biggest Twitch streamer in the world. quit this whole I'm not famous fucking humble bullshit, my nigga. You really him. You really him. You can't just pull up and say I'm gonna give free PS5s and think that these broke ass dusty niggas ain't about to come out there on some ratchet ass shit to get these PS5. He probably had like 50 of them in there, and there was fucking thousands of people over there. You think they were just gonna let you hand like one raggedy ass nigga some PS5s and they were gonna go home empty handed on some bullshit? Like hell nah. They were gonna get theirs. They were gonna fucking get theirs.
It's wild because like I'm thinking about it in the capacity and what it was. It's like, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, I really do like Cenat as a personality. Like, I think he's a really cool type of person to be a creator in this day and age because he is a really wholesome guy. Like, I do give him that. He's fun. Like, he's always been himself from the start. You can look back at old Twitch streams that he did. Like, he's been the same person for so long, bro. And it's not like he's changed. There's super wholesome moments like when he hit certain like milestone, talking to his mom on the phone and like all these things. Like he's a really good person from the outside, right? I don't know him personally, but just from what I see, he seems like a good kid, like genuinely, like a good kid. And has a good head on his shoulders. He was raised well. But yeah, you gotta take note, bro. Like you've been the biggest Twitch streamer for the past 7-8 months. You surpassed XQC, who has been the biggest Twitch streamer for God knows how long. Like crushing XQC, crushing him. Like you're not just beating, you're crushing him. And when you can get any and every single fucking celebrity you want to talk to on the phone, hi, bro. Like, don't be so naive, bro. I know you're still young. Like, don't be naive. You can just pull up and call Yachty or call 21, call Lil Baby. Like, dude, regular celebrities can't even do that, bro. Like, pretty big celebrities can't even do that. And they won't even fuck with them.
Exactly.
Unless you Drake, because Drake is Drake. Honestly, DJ Khaled's got that type of pull too, which is insane. But not that type of pull where, I'm doing a giveaway, like come to my shit. But like, and it's also Cenat's like home state. Like he's from New York. Like that's like his place. Like he's a New Yorker, dog. You go to your home, your stomping grounds, and you think you ain't about to have some shit pop off. Come on, guy, man. And like Mike said, bro, you really thought you were going to have like 50, 60 PS5s in there and these niggas weren't coming to fucking bag or shoot up or kill somebody for that damn PS5? Like, there were people in there like, dog, I ain't even going to wait in line. I'm just going to wait outside and fucking fuck somebody up when I get to...
There were people who probably said, yo, as soon as this shit get packed, let's fucking start some fucking bullshit. Let's start this riot. Because we definitely not about to get one of those PS5s. But once this shit get lit and whatnot, I can go hit up Best Buy, smash the window, and go grab me a PS5. It'll be all cool because 10 other niggas are doing it too.
Dude, it's insane. And I hate to be like this guy and like being a person of color, which I have no shame of at all. Love my skin, love my culture. But niggas really do just be breaking shit for no damn reason. Imagine
those are New York niggas, bro. If he was in Raleigh or some shit, it wouldn't be no niggas doing that.
Nah, it just be like it's wild because like imagine you're just a taxi driver going along your day, got you a little passenger in the back, just fucking body on the fucking oh shit, and it's just a little Indian guy just like I'm just trying to make my damn money, bro. Like they're literally just doing their job and like. I feel for it. I mean, I'm sure it'll all pan out. Like, I mean, I don't think he'll be like.
No, he'll be good. He'll be good.
No, there won't be any further stuff. But I mean, like, dog, you're on a whole other planet, Kai. Like, you really are like an inspiration for a lot of young kids out there. Like, he definitely targets like that medium, like 15, 16-year-old range really well. And even like a guy like me who's a little older, like I do like watching him when I do have a chance to just take a peek and like kind of see what he's talking about because he be having hella famous people and then he be talking to some fine ass women sometimes. Him and Aiden be talking to some fine. Yeah.
Hell
yeah. Got that guy. Look, and dog made a whole. He made God. He made it. He made that. Like he doesn't realize he made a whole trend. Like. if you're making whole trends, bro, you ain't no just regular ass nigga, bro.
No,
You aren't a regular ass nigga. You're him. You little 5'4"
I mean, you
guy
might
that
be
can get
half of
sturdy.
him, but you still him.
Bro, I got mad respect. If I ever had the pleasure of meeting you, I'd tell you. But like, dude, I got mad respect for you. But just don't be fucking delusional when it comes to this shit. Like, it's really like you really are that guy. You're that guy. You are the guy in content creation, aside from like really like Mr. Beast or like PewDiePie when it comes to content creation, point blank period, bro. Like, and even PewDiePie ain't got that type of pull, or Mr. Beast ain't got that type of pull. Like, nigga, like Mr. Beast can pull up the Raleigh and like people like he just gives away money. And niggas ain't gonna riot to them white folks, bro. Them white folks, they be just like
yeah, they're not gonna.
Nah, niggas, bro, when niggas fuck with you, it's a whole different type of love, bro. They be giving you love. Like, we're gonna destroy all your shit. We love you, bro.
We love you, bro. We go in the name of God. We gonna burn this bitch to the motherfucking ground, dog.
He could have told people like, hey, can y'all go to Washington, D.C., burn down the Washington Monument? I swear to God they'll do it, bro. I swear
dude,
to God.
Got that power. He's got that power.
But in that case, love that, man. It's just the funny that you talk the innocent kid in his head bash. I haven't seen that video. I'm gonna go look at it after this.
I'll fucking send it to you.
Dude, that shit is probably just like I just imagine like I imagine myself in that situation like, what the fuck is going on?
That would be just my fucking luck, bro.
Yeah, you just ruined my face for the rest of my life, and you really out here just like fuck it. But on a lighter note, we got some sports on the dock for the day, as Michael prefaced earlier. So the NFL season is finally here, man. I'm fucking stoked. I know Big Mike's got some. Well, he's a Cowboys fan, so the season's already over. It's like being a Yankees fan, man. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan. New Yorkers are worse than Dallas, but Dallas Cowboys fans are some of the worst. They're top 5 worst fans in the world, or like in any sport. We know this.
We don't know this,
but
okay, but we'll let it pass.
All right. So we're gonna go and get our way into like really who the early top 5 power rankings are. I'm curious to see. I'm sure you've been thinking about this shit probably like since the fucking first preseason game started, probably like fucking 3 months prior. But when the draft happened, he's like, "Oh, yep, top 5 team." I'm curious to see because I think I have a pretty good idea of who I think my top 5 is power rankings wise. Way too early, but I think it'll stick pretty true as long as there's no injuries. But the NFL is all about injuries now, so who knows?
So, I'll start with 5. And where I'll go with, and actually, when you say I've probably thinking about this for a while, I've been thinking about it, but I haven't been able to decide. That's the thing. I've been like moving it around every time here. So this is probably going to be my top 5 for this exact moment, because every time I think about it, I rearrange something. So, my top 5 to start off. Number 5 for me will have to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals is number 5, and this has an asterisk next to it. Because Joe Burrow has a calf strain. He tweaked his calf, and one thing we know about calf strains is that is a lingering injury. He's not going to be allowed to have the time for that calf to really get healed to where it doesn't linger again, because he's in a tough division. He's in a division with the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, who I believe all playoff potential teams. So he's going to have to get his ass back out there, and that injury could re-aggravate itself throughout the season, which if Joe Burrow goes down, they're no longer top 5. So my number 5 is the Cincinnati Bengals between Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, the whole receiving core from, T. Higgins, you got Joe Mixon, defense is solid, offensive line's a little shaky, but They got the experience. They've been there. They've done that. They've been in the Super Bowl. I know they're itching to get back. They've been in the AFC Championship game. I think they're the one team on the AFC side, or not the one team, but, they're kind of like the rivalry to the Chiefs. And I feel like that's saying something. I had them at number 5. I think they're going to be a good team, but I don't see them quite getting over the hump this year. Number 4. At number 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens. And the Baltimore Ravens are my dark horse Super Bowl team. And the reason being is they were almost in the AFC Championship game last year with Tyler Huntley. But now they're getting Lamar Jackson back, and I believe Lamar Jackson is set up to have his best season of his career. He now has...
Which is insane.
It's insane.
Which is insane to say.
Insane. It could be better than that MVP year, which was video game-like. He now has Odell Beckham lined up that he could throw it to, which Odell Beckham's one of the highest regarded receivers in the NFL. His time in New York speaks for itself. The Browns, he had Baker Mayfield throwing to him. What did you want him to do? He did the best he possibly could with that fucking progressive or whatever the fuck. This dude lived at the fucking, he apparently lived at the stadium but didn't ever practice no throws or something. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Baker. This nigga's ass. But it's the Browns. Nobody's going to make the Browns that great. Hopefully Deshaun Watson, Deshaun, if he's not getting too many massages, he might have a chance to make it a little better. But Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham, they just drafted Zay Flowers. They have Rashad Bateman. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins is still there. Defense is solid. Coaching with John Harbaugh is solid. They're consistently a playoff team. They got experience. They know exactly what they're doing. With all the receiving core and all the speed they have on receiving, not to mention they have Mark Andrews. I forgot to mention him. All the speed they got is you can't load up the box. All it's going to do is allow Lamar and J.K. Dobbins the space to run the ball whenever they want to. And right when you think, oh, this nigga only runs, he's going to hit Odell Beckham on a slant or Zay Flowers on a go, Rashad Bateman on a deep post. It's easy money. I think they're set up to, especially with Joe Burrow's injury that I mentioned earlier, to win that division and possibly be the team to, contest the Chiefs later on the line, because we know what the Chiefs do. Yeah. The third team on my power ranking is the one and only Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why I have the Dallas Cowboys, see you smiling, but we are rightfully so at the third spot. But you know what? I digress. We have who I believe will be unanimously known at the end of next season, the best defensive player in the league. And I think he will be unanimously known as the best defensive player in the league for years to come in Michael Parsons. I think Michael Parsons is a young stud, and after this season, everyone will know that he is the fucking guy when it comes to defense, the generational talent that, we haven't seen anything like this before from Michael Parsons. He's already on that kind of trajectory with having 26 and a half sacks in his first 2 seasons, being behind only Von Miller and I believe it was J.J. Watt and one other person. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But we got better. We were already one of the top teams last year. Yes, we went down to the 49ers, who were also one of the top teams last year, but we got significantly better. A rookie who was beating people by 17 and a half points and was scoring 35 points a game. But, that's besides the point. This is my top 5, all right? This is my top 5. So we're getting better. We got much better. We got Stephon Gilmore lined up across the side from Trayvon Diggs. Who you going to throw the ball to? Take your pick, my nigga. One of the previous defensive players of the year, or Trayvon Diggs, who is a walking INT anytime you lob the ball up to that nigga. We got fucking Deron Bland, who's also going to come in, and he's a stud. And he had, multiple interceptions last year and is looking to build on that. We got Malik Hooker. We got Curse, and we got Donovan Wilson, which Wilson's kind of got an injury thing, but he'll be back number one. He'll be back first. Not to mention, like I said, we got Michael Parsons. We got D-Law. We drafted Mozzie Smith.
Hey, by the way, viewers and listeners, he gonna name the entire fucking 40 or 50 man roster real quick for you. So, you'll be here for a minute.
No. Yo, we're stacked. We're stacked, you know? And then we got on the offensive side. We were already the number one offense last year, based off of points scored. We were Dak has led the league in highest scoring offense the past 3 seasons. Only quarterback to have an offense to score more than 30 points a game for the past 3 seasons. But he won't give credit to that. They won't ever give Dak no credit for that. And they won't mention
over too damn much.
And they won't mention the receiving core that we had last year that when we went into the season, everybody thought was a shit receiving core. Yet somehow when Dak got there, we were the number one offense in the league. I don't know. But we got better because we added Brandon Cooks to that offense to line up beside CeeDee Lamb with Michael Gallup. Jalen Tolbert in training camp is looking to make a step up. We got Cavante Turpin, who's probably the best returner in the league. So who's also got 4.3 speed. Yo, what you laughing about, bro? Dak's going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. Dak is given the grace of the offense. I'm still on number 3, and that's why the Cowboys, we got the experience now. Everyone's getting older. We added depth. Cowboys are number 3. Number 2, and we're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe personally that the Cowboys are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. But the reason why I have to put them at number 2 is because they were in the Super Bowl last year. I can't be biased. They were in the Super Bowl last year, and if I'm given a power ranking, I believe that you being in the Super Bowl, that kind of experience gives you the number 2 spot. And I'm going to have to give it to them. But like I said, I still believe the Cowboys are better. Jalen Hurts had a rock star season. Everyone wants to say he's like the number 2 quarterback in the league. He's by far the best quarterback in the NFC. He very well could be, but we've seen this story before with the Eagles before. We've seen Carson Wentz look like the best player in the league, and then what happened to his fucking career? All right, exactly. We need to see more than one season. That's just my point.
You really compare him to Carson Wentz? Damn.
He had the same type of season.
Nah, but he ain't a nigga, though.
Nah, he ain't no nigga. He ain't no nigga. That's the difference. That is the difference. He ain't no nigga. But the Eagles got a stud defensive line. Their defense is good. They lost a few pieces, but I think that they did a great job at adding back to those spots and possibly getting similar production from those spots. They lost Miles Sanders, but got DeAndre Swift. I believe in DeAndre Swift a lot. Think he's going to be a great running back. So I have the Eagles at number 2. I'm not going to spend too much longer on those fuckboys. All right. And for the best team in the league on my power rank is my number 1 spot. And sorry if I'm taking a long time. I just wanted to be thorough with my thoughts so you know where I'm coming from. We have the one and only, and I believe the only valid spot for number 1. If you have anybody else there, you were fucking out your goddamn mind, and shout out to the goddamn crack epidemic. All right, we got the Kansas City fucking Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs. And you want to know what the reason is? There's really only one reason. I'm going to keep this nice and short. They got Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. That's my number 1. Kansas City Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes. That's my number 1. He is the Michael Jordan of football. He is the best quarterback that I've ever seen talent-wise play. I know Brady's the GOAT. Brady's the best winner I've ever seen. But Patrick Mahomes, what he's done in his short career is the best, highest level of quarterbacking that I have ever laid eyes on. I am comfortable saying that to this day, and I believe that, when it's all said and done, he will be right there chasing the old man Tom Brady himself. He will be chasing him, and with the way that he does it and the style and flair, he might not need as many Super Bowls as Tom for people to consider him to be better. That is my top 5. Sterling, you may take the floor.
Well,
or you can react to what I got to say.
And thank you for the entire Dallas Cowboys roster. I appreciate that. I didn't know the depth chart was. I didn't know what the depth chart looked like. And then an update on my Madden.
I would have got into it deeper had you not talked shit, but I had to cut it short.
Nah, but for the people out there, you're definitely gonna see like, and I'm super glad that like we've been so consistent with this podcast, throughout the year. Being this is a 22nd episode, this 22 weeks, we've skipped a couple of weeks, but been basically on it every week. You guys are going to truly see that being a Cowboys fan from the mic on a weekly basis. When they win, the highs are real high. The real high. It's like a fucking shout out crack epidemic because he be cracked out. They be on a whole nother level, but damn, they lose. They lose. You would have thought he took a damn sedative at this point. Like that, my boy. But yeah, I kind of agree with your top two based on the simple fact that those are the Bowl contenders, and they didn't really change much in the past year. So I'm not gonna like even have him one or two. I always prey on Patrick. I like him. I think he's a fucking loser. I think his wife. I don't think that he's not a quarter. I think he's a great quarterback. Just like Brady did, just like I did for Brady. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm a hater. Sorry, like I can't help it. So my power rankings from 5 to 3, since my 1 and 2 are the same as Mike's. At number 5, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't even want to put them in my top 5, but I've always I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a football fan. Like, I mean, I've never been like a team. I just always had teams I didn't want to win, right? And a bit of a bandwagon, but I'll jump on anybody to beat Joe Burrow, to be frank. Or not Joe Burrow, to beat Patrick Mahomes. It's just what it is. I don't care who it is. It could be your mom. It could be your little brother. It doesn't matter. Somebody could go and crack his knees. I really don't care. But I put Dallas Cowboys at number 5 based on some of the reasons that Mike said, maybe not as in depth, because I'm not as adept to the team as Mike is. Obviously, he is a fan, and fan means fanatic. But that means, and with that being said, I do understand the Cowboys, and being that like I'm a Yankees fan, like I said earlier, the Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys have very much in common, where a lot of fans, they always are willing to spend a lot of money to keep their people there, to get the right people, this, that, and the other. And I can appreciate that from Jerry Jones. I think he sucks as a GM. I think he's one of the worst GMs of all time in that sense, because he can't win. But that is what it is. I think Dallas Cowboys have the ability to be the team that takes out the Eagles if they stay healthy. One of the things, and stay consistent. Dak Prescott is one of the biggest pieces to that team. He is the piece to that team. He is the piece, because the defense is going to be solid. I have no doubt the defense for the Dallas Cowboys, like Michael said earlier, Michael Parsons is a freak athlete. He's one of those guys where you really you really don't want to see him coming at you. He's quick, strong, like understands the game. Like you can't get any better than that when it comes to the defensive side of the football. That being said, I know that Dallas Cowboys and Dak is pretty up and down sometimes with injuries, and then even with consistency in terms of his turnovers. I know there's some games where he has a high amount of turnovers where it can be extremely detrimental to the team, which is it should be. As the quarterback, if they have 2 to 3 interceptions in a game, they should lose. It's just how the game works. That is my number 5. I'm obviously praying they are the worst team in the league this year, for the sake of I love seeing my friend really upset about his team. That being said, next on the docket, number 4, I've got to go with my boys. Dude, I don't want to have the same, but I'm going to put the Baltimore Ravens at number 4. And the caveat to that is just because I have been the biggest Lamar Jackson fan since the video when he fucking juked the guy and walked into the end zone. Since that day.
That is probably a top 5, top 3 fucking highlight of all time.
That, and to a little backstory, that most people didn't even know that was Lamar Jackson until he got to Louisville and have the
I didn't know that
Heisman season that he had. I knew it was. I figured out who it was. I took some time, and I wasn't like obsessing it like out in public, like oh, like this is Lamar, like, blah blah, like kind of. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I can't wait to see what happens when he goes to college and plays and all this stuff. And obviously, it turned out really really well for him. One of the caveat to that is that if Lamar and the team stay relatively healthy, by relative I mean the people that matter stay healthy, aka Lamar, Odell, all the wideouts. The defense, once again, one of those things where the defense will be fine basically regardless, unless their entire fucking defensive line just decides to fall over and not work for the rest of the season, for the whole season. I agree with you in the sense that I think the Baltimore Ravens are the dark horse to make the Super Bowl, and they have the ability. They're one of those teams that can beat the Chiefs because of the ability of a high-powered offense. When you have to go blow for blow with the Chiefs, because you are not going to just hold Patrick Mahomes to 17 points. Like, you're not going to do it. If you hold the Chiefs to under 20 points, bro, you better win that fucking game. Like, you better win that fucking game, because that means Patty's having a bad night and your defense is playing fucking amazing. And the only thing is they like you said, Mike, they're in a very tough division, very competitive division, it's been the best division in football for, aside from the NFC East, for the last decade. They've been the two most competitive divisions. I think the North has been a little bit more consistent. Maybe not so because it was basically just Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but Cincinnati and then Cleveland on the back, and we're making their way in there to be more competitive over the past few years. And obviously with Deshaun now, like you said, if he stays away from the massages, keeps those at a minimum, they'll be competitive. And I'd love to see Deshaun do well.
A small caveat, every team in the NFC East is in the top 10 highest valuated football franchise in the league.
Yeah, and that includes the Redskins, aka Commanders.
Big boss.
For the people that think that I'm an asshole for saying Redskins, I'm black. I just want to let that be known. I'm not an Indian, but I can say you got, like, for the white folks out there, no offense, you Trail of Tears. That's all I gotta say. That being said, them at number 4, I'd love to see them beat the Chiefs. Like, nothing would make me happier to see Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl and win it. That would honestly be really cool to see. Because I think it'd become full circle for him, and I think he could really just be done with his career, to be frank. I mean, I want to see him keep playing, because in my opinion, I like watching him more than Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes runs like he's got a stick up his ass, and I really don't like that. Like, he's not smooth like Lamar is. Definitely, but I'd love to see Lamar have another MVP caliber season, and I think if he's gonna do it, it's gonna be this season, and if it's not this season, it's gotta be the next. I think it's gonna be the end of, like, they'll stop investing super 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 heavy into him, and they'll kind of just let him work with what he's got, and like he's just got to be great every single season to win at a really really high level. Go 11 win season with the 17 games now. That being said, number 3, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals. It's hard to bet against Joe Burrow. Like, that dude, him and Jamar Chase, just Joe Burrow, like, just knows, that motherfucker knows how to win. He knows how to win. He's won at the second highest level. He was literally a play away from winning again, like, at the highest level at his first full season, because he tore his ACL the first season he was in the league. Like, I don't think people realize how great of a quarterback this kid's going to be. And people are probably asking, like, what about the Bills? What about the Bills? The Bills fucking suck, dude.
Yeah, the Bills Josh Allen are trash, bro.
Josh Allen himself has a ceiling that is like no other. When I mean that, I mean he's got that ceiling that's like, it's progressively got lower and lower every single season. It doesn't go up like a lot of people do. He was super high, and now it's down, and he's in a division now with the Miami Dolphins, where I would put, if we had a top 10, my Miami Dolphins would have been my 6th. And I know that sounds crazy to some people, but it shouldn't. They have one of the most high-powered offenses in the league now, based on, like, at their offseason and what they've done, even through the draft.
And they might add Dalvin Cook to the roster, too.
Yeah. Tuchel learns how to be even more consistent than he was last year. It can be a super scary team. The AFC is extremely strong. Like, this is the first time AFC has been this strong time, but these past couple of years have been the first time in this strong in a very, very long time. That's why Tom Brady was able to win so many championships. Not that he wasn't great and he didn't play great teams, but he played in the shittiest division in the league, being the AFC East at the time. And the AFC was historically weak if you weren't Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or those guys. That's basically it. Like, you basically had to go through Pittsburgh or Baltimore. And that was how you had to go to the Super Bowl. And he knew that. Like, Tom Brady knew that. Like, he knew that's all I had to do. And then the Jets had their 1 or 2 seasons with Darrelle Revis and Revis Island. Then he got put on an island, and nobody knows who he is anymore. But, yes. So, like I said, my number 3, gotta have Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Cincinnati Bengals have, like you said, same thing, kind of like the caveat or the point about like they've been to the Super Bowl. When you have guys that have been to the Super Bowl and guys have won at very high levels, because they have a good amount of those guys that have won something at a high level, like it's really hard to go against those type of teams. As long as Joe can get through the calf thing without straining it too much, where it becomes a real fucking massive issue for them, which it will become an issue because it's a long season, and he gets hit a fuck ton. He is literally like, it's the same thing. I mean, it's so bad because he probably wins a Super Bowl if he gets protected. He probably wins his fucking Super Bowl. And I hope they realize that. And I know they realize it, but I hope they really invested in the next couple seasons to make sure he stays healthy and is their franchise quarterback. Because there's no reason him and Jamar shouldn't win them at least one championship while they're together in Cincinnati. I don't think I think it would be a crime for them not to win a championship, to be as close as they really were. I'm rooting for them. But yeah, and like I said, the 1 and 2, obviously don't want the Chiefs to be number 1, but nobody can fucking stop them. They got rid of Tyreek Hill, and then they still fucking won the champion, like a Super Bowl. I almost shit myself. I was very pissed off. And then the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has got an amazing story, and I think Jalen Hurts rightfully, and that team at the Eagles is one of the grittiest teams in the league. I think they are the grittiest team, in my opinion, maybe aside from the Cincinnati Bengals, because the Bengals are also super young. But they're one of the grittiest teams that just want to win, and they don't care what it takes to win. And you could tell by the way that they play the game, and I think that's a super cool thing to see as a fan. But I did want to comment on something else. Aaron Rodgers at the New York Jets, I want to let you guys know they're like, oh, well, no. The New York Jets are going to fucking suck again. It does not matter who you bring to that team, bro. There's a reason. If your team has a hard knocks on you, they're not doing it because it's like, oh, this is cool. They're doing it because it's a fucking debacle. They're doing it because your team sucks. Like, the reason the Arizona Cardinals had a hard knocks, why? They fucking sucked. They sucked. They couldn't figure it out. Kyler Murray couldn't figure it out. He can't see over his fucking offensive line. I'm sorry. It's raps. So that's my top 5. I definitely am super excited for the season. For the folks that are big football fans, this is definitely the time of the year to really be tuning in often. I know that we're going to have a lot of content on that. And for my baseball fans, if anybody keeps up with baseball in any capacity, when the playoffs come around, I'll make little snippets here and there. I know Mike may not be able to elaborate on. I'll make a little 3-4 minute segment, like, just to talk about it, because I love playoff baseball, and I think it's one of the most exciting times of the year. And
I will try my best to chime in, but I'll probably let Sterling just go on a rant for a little bit on that segment.
No, you don't have to, man. There's so many moving parts when it comes to baseball. So it's really hard to even like put it into words sometimes. But that being said, I mean, I think we kind of can wrap it up from there, man. I know we haven't done a Black React in a couple of weeks, but we'll hold off. We'll make it for a good week. I know that I've got a long day tomorrow. I know it's been a long night. I know Mike's got to do some stuff for the video and all this stuff. I want to make sure that he's got some time for himself. And other than that, I'll see you guys when I'm 26 years old.
26. And also, I want to shout out because my dad and Sterling had the same birthday. So shout out Pops. He's going to be, I don't even know. He probably don't want me to put this age out on the podcast. So he's going to be a certain number tomorrow, but it will also be his birthday. So be on the lookout for that.
Big
but
night.
I appreciate everybody listening like always. We will be back next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m., the original time. Every week, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So, for all the fellas out there listening, listen, my guy. She only wants a 1% man. So, you got to quit your bitching and get your bread up. It's that simple. And for the ladies out there listening, he don't want you, sweetie. You got to move on. But it's okay because you're still beautiful and powerful and will always love you. It's the After Dark podcast. Until next time.